Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 10 Minutes Astrology. Once a week, Alejo and I will be here talking about the astrology. And from this week, we stepped in a new state. Hello, Alejo. How are you?
Hi, Rod. Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Well, Alejo, not only we start our new series, but also I want to say that on the 1st of February, we have Charles and I give a workshop about electional astrology, and it's about using astrology to choose date to active to initiate the event, start business, or all sort of things. But on the 15th of March, on a Saturday, Alejo going to give a talk focused on the Saturn Neptune conjunction for that coming up next 2 years, and it codes from the war to waves. Hey, hey.
Very good. From walls to waves. Yes.
Well, wars to waves. So if you're interested, please come to our website to register it. So, Alejo, are you looking forward about this new series?
Of course, I think it's going to be so interesting and it's going to be so dynamic, actually, which is one
Yeah,
of
we
the keywords for transits.
yeah, because we are talking about a NATO chart for really nearly 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, yeah, maybe even in the future, we will come from time to time, we'll come back to the NATO chart for a little bit more deep study.
Yeah.
But now it's a time to study something quite interesting. So, talking about transit, what is transit? And is there any different type of transit? And what do we usually focus on?
So, transits, I would say transits are moments in which, so basically, you are born and you have your natal chart, and that's kind of fixed, but the planets are still moving around. So
Yeah.
transits are moments in which those planets that are moving around are making a special aspect to any point in your chart. Um, so any planet or ascendant midheaven, right? So when these planets that are moving around the sky, they in their motion, they make an aspect to something in your natal chart, that is a transit.
Mm, yes. So usually it's quite interesting. Like for example, for our general public or for the beginner, sometimes we'll say, "Wow, today's moon in Aries and it's in my first house." Is that transit?
Yeah, that's transit. It's a short transit, it's a quick
Yeah.
transit, but it's a transit, I would say. In my opinion,
Yes.
yes. What do you say?
Well, no, no, no. I mean that is transit because people probably don't know that is transit. So for most of the people, when we're talking about a current planet position, and when you consider it, when you read it, it's not just read about say, okay, say Mars in Leo is in Mars in Leo. That for everyone, Mars is in Leo. But when Mars in Leo in your maybe let me say first house, and that is your personal transit. Only for you, that Mars will acting in the first house and the things related to the first house themes about yourself, about the self first impression, or that kind of things is going to work it out. But
Yeah.
what
Can
are
I,
we focused on? Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
so to make it clear, let's say you have the ascendant at, let's say, 14 degrees of Taurus.
Okay.
Yes. And let's say Mars is going from 13 Taurus to 14 Taurus to 15 Taurus. So when
Yes.
Mars is going to 14 Taurus, it's conjoining, it's making a conjunction to your ascendant. So this
Yes.
is when what Rod says, you say, Mars is in Taurus, is in my first house. So Mars being in Taurus is for everyone, but because my first house is at 14 degrees of Taurus, when Mars is at 14 degrees of Taurus, it's in my first house. So this becomes personal, something that is for everyone, which is Mars is in Taurus, becomes personal. For my chart, is in the first house.
Mm.
And of course, you can
Talking.
apply
Yeah.
this, sorry, not only to conjunctions, but
Yeah.
also to squares, oppositions, trines, sextiles.
Yes. And also, most of the time we focus on the planet in the house, but usually we are talking about the outer planet. Why we focus on outer planet?
Okay, so Rod mentioned the moon, right? So the moon changes signs every 2 days and a half,
Mm,
which means in 1 month it went through the whole zodiac. So imagine that every month the moon goes through all of the houses. So, okay, this could be indicating something about, okay, these days I feel more like I want to be at home. Maybe the moon is transiting
hmm
your fourth house. Or maybe these days I feel like I want to expose myself and I want to do something professional and I set professional goals. Maybe the moon is going through your 10th house. But because every 2 days and a half is changing, it's like the mood, your mood through the month, it's
Yeah.
changing. You have the mood for a party some days, the mood for learning some other days, it's kind of changing. The other planets, the how did you call them? Trans-Saturnian, how do you call them? Transpersonals, how do you call them?
I say outer, just simply
Outer,
outer.
okay. The outer planets, they move a little bit slower than than the inner planets. So they will spend more time in each house. So this means that they're going to bring, they're going to describe more of an inner process, not a mood that's swinging from one moment to the other, but a
Mm,
process of, well, depending on which planet it's going to be, this kind of process. For some planets, it might be a process of releasing or
mm,
freedom. For some planets, it's going to be more of a creative, spiritual process. Well, it depends on the planet, right? But the
mm.
idea is that, let's say, I don't know, Neptune goes into your house, and it's going to be in that house for a long
Yeah.
time, for many years. So it's pointing to a process. Maybe it's more interesting in this case to think about Jupiter or Saturn. Jupiter goes into your house, it's going to be in that house for a whole year. So it's like it's giving you the possibility of exploring the idea of expansion,
Mm-hmm.
meaning, purpose in that area of life for a whole year. So it's more of a
Mm.
process.
Yeah, so that's why in the astrology, especially when we learn in astrology, we are more focused on the for from Jupiter onward, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, Chiron, even nodal axis. Their transit is the what we focus on. So I think from next week onward, we are going to house by house, planet by planet, and we will start from the Pluto in the first house and then probably ending by Jupiter or maybe nodal axis. So that would be very interesting, and we're going to have an in-depth discussion. What I think is about when we're talking about transit, it is give us a chance to understand what we are experiencing at this moment.
Yeah, exactly. I agree
Yeah,
100%. Yes.
yeah.
It lets us know why this is happening to me now and not to
Hmm.
another person.
Yeah, transit is quite useful and easy to understand. So I think we will start from transit because when we're talking about the forecasting skill in the astrology, there are so many. There are so many different techniques. But I think transit is usually one of the easy one to digest. So we start with transit. If we have chance, maybe in the future we can talk about maybe secondary progression or direction. That would be very interesting, and the people probably know like solar return. Some people
Mm.
even use lunar return. So, that is some very interesting, the big area we can talk about, but that's stay as a simple but very useful. Let's start with transit. Next week, we are going to talk about Pluto in the first house. Stay in tune. Bye bye.
Bye bye.